sometimes you just need a fun, silly little game to play with your friends. How about wasting a few hours serving fast food fries and hamburgers to aliens and robots in 𝔽𝕚𝕟𝕕? In 𝔽𝕚𝕟𝕕, you can hop from planet to planet throughout the entire solar system, serving fast food to a variety of robotic and alien customers. This is a very simple, goofy, fun kitchen game that is reminiscent of those fun Diner Dash-esque games from your childhood. You can solo rush around a kitchen or bump into your friends as you do multiplayer and try and get as many orders out as you can. Now, I first heard of this game because it was in a video of another YouTuber talking about underrated, low-cost games that you should try out. And 𝔽𝕚𝕟𝕕 caught my eye. It was simple, it looked fun, and I am also kind of a sucker for really simplistic, fun games that kind of are a bit repetitive, so I went ahead and added it to my Steam wish list. And lo and behold, it went on sale, and it was way under $10. I think it was about $7 and some change, and so I decided, first I'm gonna do the demo real quick. And because I really wanted to do the multiplayer at some point, I got my friend Amy, who is a co-host for the Nerd House podcast with me. I told her, hey, you should get the demo for this and we can try it out and see if we want to get the whole thing. So we both got the demo, and the saddest part about the demo is it locks you into solely solo play. You can't do the multiplayer with the demo. So to kind of get around playing alone but together, we streamed our gameplay screens to each other via Discord. And it was fun. We both kind of enjoyed it, but we knew that we would get more enjoyment if we were able to play together. So after a few, maybe 4 or 5 rounds of doing it solo and deciding that we do like the mechanics of everything, we bit the bullet and spent the $7.30 or whatever to get the full game. And so we immediately jumped into the multiplayer, and already it was so much more fun. Now, granted, adding another player doesn't seem to increase the difficulty or literally anything. It seems the exact same as if you were playing solo, so this can mean the first few levels feel a bit slow or tedious, because obviously the first few levels are trying to get you adapted to the mechanics and the different orders, so it's going easy on you, and that means there can be a lot of downtime. But once you get going and get further into each of the planets or even further down into the solar system, having another set of hands is actually a lifesaver. So starting off, each planet has its own progression system. It's not like Jupiter is by far more challenging than Mars. All of them have a progression system. Now, you start out with 0 stars on each of them because you haven't done anything yet, and you can progress to get up to 3 stars for all of the planets. Now, in order to get these stars and get these upgrades and progress further into the games for each of these planets, you will need to serve your customers and basically just get the food right. That's really it. After serving your customers, you will get a rating, and this will go to your overall score for each planet. And if you go ahead and earn those stars, you can get some upgrades, such as maybe another grill, maybe your grill has a higher cooking speed so your burgers cook faster, maybe you get a deep fryer and unlock some more fried food goodies, and maybe you get a new drink to serve, maybe some lovely green goop that people seem to really enjoy. And each planet obviously has its own foods that you serve and its own unique upgrades, so no planet is exactly alike. And just like planets, your customers are also unique to each other. So each customer will have their own unique food order, and they will be standing in front of a little terminal. Now, once you have their order ready, or at least part of the order, say you have their fries ready but not their burger, you can go ahead and put the fries on the conveyor belt to send it to the customer. And probably the best part about this game is that you can actually see on the little terminal in front of them, a screen will show you what part of the order is already sent to the customer. So there's no needing to take up space, waiting for every single part of an order to be done. You can go ahead and just send it right on up. Now, obviously, the further you go, the more complicated burgers you'll be needing to make. Now, some of those cosmic burgers can be very, very complicated, but there's also a lovely button that you can just press and it'll bring up all of the orders that you can make and their recipes. Now, do beware, if you are going off of the recipe for the burger, it will not show any of the modifications that a customer may or may not have made. So make sure before you go ahead and turn that order in, go back and make sure that you don't need to remove some onions, add some pickles, any of that. But the ability to go and check through really easily to figure out what you need to do, and there's no need to actually learn anything and go by memory, is very nice. The devs really stressed that they wanted a stress-free cooking game, and they really delivered on that. There's no point to where you feel overwhelmed or rushed. There's no real pressure. All you have to do is try your best, use your resources, and serve food. And if you by chance mess up, the worst that will happen is a small deduction in your review, which literally does nothing. It doesn't hurt you. And there's 2 different types of screw-ups. A minimum screw-up, say you forgot to add pickles. They might complain a little bit, but all that they're gonna do is give a little nick to your score. Now, if you screwed up really bad, they might complain and say that this is not what they ordered. All you have to do is remake the food the proper way. You'll still receive a small ding to your score, but once again, nothing negative happens to you. They really wanted a stress-free environment. Now, normal customers have 0 restrictions, limitations, or pressure to their order. There's no time limit. There is nothing that should worry you. The worst thing is they might have some complex orders, but since there's no time limit, you can take as long as you want to get that right. There are a lot of options. Some burgers need the buns toasted, some need the burger overcooked, some need the cheese melted. So do make sure to take your time because, like I said, there's no time limit. And those combinations can end up being basically endless, and it can get kind of confusing. I myself kept mixing up 2 types of orders and made this really weird monster burger. But as you progress, you will run into some customers with a bit more personality. Now, some people, even on Jupiter, are quite busy. They're in a rush and they just want their food. These people will be on a timer. But don't worry, nothing negative will happen if you go over that timer. And others might be a bit forgetful. They might remember to order their fries, but not their burger. Then they might remember that burger on the second time, but then they forget the drink. Now, for these forgetful people, you might need to go ahead and ask them 3 times what their order is, and they will tell you one by one what they need. These people do tend to give better tips and good reviews because they know that they are putting you through a lot. Now, probably some of the best things that me and Amy realized that you could do is you could pre-cook a lot of your stuff. So we would go ahead and load up the grill with burgers, cook them all, and then load them onto one of the spare chopping boards that you get quite easily. Those extra chopping boards will be a lifesaver because we would load them up with burgers, we would melt cheese, we would grill onions, and just overall it was so easy. When big complicated orders would come in, we would just be able to send them out super fast, and it was really great. Now, these tips might be very helpful because the game likes to add a little bit of spice in the terms of some upgrades. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you're trying to get good reviews, and with each good review, you get a little closer to upgrading your star level. Now, once you hit 2 stars, you unlock special coupons. Now, the special coupons are kind of minimalist upgrades, and they happen for 1 round only. Now, they can be anything from every single person orders a fried item with their meal. Everyone's vegetarian, so there's no meat burgers sold that day. Or maybe your drink machine is 25% faster. Very minimal things. They don't really change a whole lot, but they're a little bit fun, and their cost is relatively low. Did I mention that you also need to be positive in your earnings? You get to see that all at the end. Your rent, your food costs, all of your tips. Quite funny. I don't think this really does much, but you do need to unlock planets by buying or renting space in them. So it's very minimal, but it is something to keep in mind. Don't go and just use a bunch of resources and don't have any customers. Keep an eye on it. It does show how many customers are remaining in the corner, so that's not something that you can really overlook. Now, once you've hit 3 stars is when the real fun begins. It unlocks 2 different modes. One is endless mode, and just like the name suggests, the customers never stop coming in. They just keep coming, you just keep feeding them, and the cycle just never ceases. Now the other one is good if you do need some extra funds to unlock your next planet, and that is the time challenge mode. Just like it suggests, everyone's on that time crunch, and in order to make up for the probably the most anxiety-driven part of the whole game, which is still very little, you get a 300% bonus. So this is a great way if you have a 3-star planet unlocked. Go ahead, maybe do 1 or 2 of those, and hopefully by the end of that, you can unlock your next planet. This game is incredibly fun. It is very simple. It is literally trying to break into that little niche genre of fun cooking games, and it does what no other cooking game seems to do. Makes the environment anxiety and stress-free. There's no need to make sure that nothing catches on fire. There's no need to make sure that your customers aren't leaving in a huffy rage. It is the least stressful cooking game I have ever played. If you want to have a cooking game and play it with your friends and make sure that your friendship is still intact by the end, I suggest this over, say, Overcooked. With way less stress and fear of losing friendships than a Mario Party game, and under $10, I say Galaxy Burger is such a good deal and so fun. Now, I will say, I never got addicted to it, but it was a lot of fun, and me and Amy played multiple sessions of it. And even though we weren't addicted, it was a game to where we would go, hey, do you want to play Galaxy Burger? Let's see how far we can get, because there's a lot of planets, so we wanted to try and get them all. And once again, I mentioned it is under $10. And if you throw it on your wish list and it goes on sale, you can get it for barely anything. Now, I will say, going solo, probably when you get further, will be just as fun, but honestly, this game seems to thrive if you're playing with friends. So this is a game I highly suggest if you're in between bigger games and you just want something fun and simple, but maybe no one wants to spend $60 on a full price game. Try this out. If you're in between games and you just need something to play with your friends, this is basically a must play. I would basically give this a 10 out of 10 for what it is doing and what it is trying to be. There was no faults in this game. There was no bugs. Everything seemed easy to understand. And I just overall had a great time with Amy playing this. That is really all I have for Galaxy Burger. Overall, great experience. The price, excellent. The gameplay, the characters, everything. Very good, very fun. There was really nothing wrong with it. And I really can't give this praise enough for if people just want a fun little game. So let me know in the comments down below, did I pique your interest, and are you going to have a new little fun, cozy cooking game to play? This is basically as close to cozy as you can get in this kind of genre. But yeah, let me know if you wishlisted this, did you try the demo, did you get the full game? Let me know down below, I'd love to know. But with that, I think that's basically it. I will leave links to the Steam page down below like I'm trying to do now. And question of the week, what is your favorite cooking game? I do like them, and a lot of the mobile games seem to be fun, but I can't find like a good fleshed out cooking game. So if you guys have any recommendations, do let me know. But if you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, think I did a good job, give me a thumbs up to let me know. And if you want to go the extra mile, give me a subscribe so you don't lose me in the sea of YouTube content. And I hope to see you again in a future video. Bye guys.